back to my education channel, Model School Math. Today we're going to discuss another grade 6 lesson, which is called Miscellaneous Exercises in Ratio and its Properties. And if you aren't sure what miscellaneous means a variety of, or difference, or a different group of, or just a mix of. So here we have a mix of or different exercises on properties and its on ratio and its properties. So this lesson is actually not just it's not just teaching lesson. It's just an exercising lesson where we solve some exercises and problems on ratio and its properties, which is going to help us master the ratio and its properties. So you have to have watched the last 3 videos on ratio. Number 1 is the meaning of ratio. Number 2 is the properties of ratio part 1. Number 3 is properties of ratio part 2, because we talk about all the things we're going to talk about in this lesson. So if you aren't sure or you aren't understanding things in this lesson, this means that you haven't watched the past 3 videos, or you haven't watched them very carefully. So just go and watch them again. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box below, and they're gonna leave the titles for you guys, so it's gonna be easier for you to find the videos. So let's start by example number 1 here, and we have example number 1 here says the ratio between the number of girls and the number of boys in a school is 3 to 4. Nice. So here he has told us that the number of girls to the number of boys is 3 to 4. This means that we know that the girls is the antecedent, which is the number 3, which is the first term of the ratio, right? And we know that the number of the boys is the consequent, which is the second term of the ratio, which is 4. So if the number of boys is 280, so he has gave us the number of boys in the school, which is 280, and he has gave us the ratio between the number of girls and the number of boys. So now we need to find the number of girls in the school. We know that the number of boys in the school is 280. Now we need to find the number of girls. So he has given us the ratio, which is 3 over 4. So we know that the girls is the antecedent, which is the first term of the ratio, because he has given us the girls to the boys, not the boys to the girls, and we have discussed this in the past videos. The ordering here is very important. So the first term that comes here is the girls, and so the girls is the antecedent. So the antecedent is 3. Correct. So the number of boys is the consequent, and the consequent is the second term, which is here 4. So this is correct. So now we have the ratio between the number of girls to the number of boys as a fraction, which is 3 over 4. Here he says, so we have the ratio which is 3 over 4. Now we need to understand this ratio. What does the ratio this ratio help us in, or what does this ratio actually represent? So this ratio represents that the girls equal 3 parts and the boys will equal 4 parts. And now we know that the girls are 3 parts of the total number of the pupils in the school, and boys represent 4 parts of the number of pupils in the school. So, and he has given us that the number of boys totally is 280, right? So we have here the number of boys 280. We have that the number that the girls will equal 3 parts, the boys will equal 4 parts, and we have the ratio between the number of girls over the number of boys is 3 over 4. So we know that the boys will equal 4 parts, and the boys totally their sum is 280. So the sum of the boys in the school is 280, and the boys will equal 4 parts. We have new 4 parts because our fraction and our ratio here told us that the boys are 4 parts. So this means that 4 parts is equivalent to 280. So this means that 4 parts, which represent the boys, will equal 280, which also represents the boys. So 4 parts is equivalent, which means equal to 280. So now we need to find just one part, right? Because we need to find this here. We have it here as a ratio. We have it here 3 girls, 3 parts of the girls, 4 parts of the boys. We just need 1 part of the girls, 1 part of the boys, so we can find out the number of the total number of girls in the school. So 4 parts is equivalent to 280. So to find 1 part, we are going to do something that is very simple, which is going to divide the number by 4, because we have 4 parts. So there's going to divide the 280 by 4, which is going to equal 70. So here we know that 1 part of the boys will equal 70, right? So this means that 1 part of the girls will also equal 70. And we have here that the girls equal 3 parts. So we're going to multiply here. So it's going to be 70, which is the 1 part, because 3 parts of the boys, 1 part is 70. 3 parts of the girls, also 1 part will be 70. So 70 times 3 is going to be 210 girls. So now we knew that we have 210 girls in the school. So how can we make sure that our solution is correct? So what we're going to do is very simple. We are going to get the number of girls that we have just figured out, which is 210, and add it to the number of boys, which is 280. As you can see here. So 280, 10 plus 280 is going to be 490. And if we also did something very simple here, we took the number of girls, which is the antecedent at the top, 210, and put the number of boys as the consequent, 280. And we have simplified this ratio. This ratio, after simplifying, is going to equal, when we simplify this ratio here, it's going to equal 3 over 4. Okay, so when we simplify our ratio and make sure that the terms are correct, we are going to find that the ratio that we have just figured out is the same as the first ratio that he or she gave us. So this here justifies our answer. So another solution, there is another way to solve this, and it's kind of an easier way or a shorter way to do it. So we can find the number of girls over the number of boys, which is our fraction, which is 3 over 4. And we know that the number of girls will be, we know that 3 over 4 is a ratio, and it represents the 3 parts of the boys, the 3 parts of the girls, and the 4 parts of the boys. So we're going to have a ratio here, and we are going to multiply it by the number of boys. So we want the number of girls, so we're going to find the ratio between the number of girls to the boys, and we're going to multiply it to the number of the boys. So it's going to be 3 over 4 times 280, because 280 is the number of the boys. So when we multiply 3 over 4 times 280, 4 is going to be crossed by 1, 280 is going to be crossed by 70, and we're going to less by 3 times 70, which is going to be 210 girls. So this is another way to solve this. It's an easier and a shorter way. It's like a shortcut. So here's another way that I really like to use, which is called cross multiplication. It is like cross multiplicating when we multiply fractions, but it is in the ratio form. So we know that the ratio has 3 forms, which is the fraction form, the 2 sign form, and the letter 2 form. We mostly use the 2 sign form, which is here. So instead of multiplying fractions with the fraction bar as a fraction like this here, we are going to multiply them using the 2 sign, which is these 2 dots over each other. So we're going to write the girls to the boys. The ratio 3 is going to be under the girls, because girls are 3 and boys are 4, and the number 2 sign is in the middle. So, and then we don't know the number of the girls, the sum of the girls. So we're going to put a question mark there, and we know the number of the boys. The sum of the boys, we know that it is 280. So we're going to put a 280 here and a question mark here. So when we have a fraction like this, so if we said that this is a fraction, 3 over a question mark will equal 4 over 280. It's just hard to control the mouse. Okay, so 4 over 280. So if this is a fraction and we have to solve this fraction and find this question mark, what does it equal? We're going to cross multiply. So the numerator here is going to be multiplied by the denominator, and is going to be divided by the numerator here. So this is the same that we're going to do here. So 3 is going to be multiplied by 280 and then divided by 4. So 3 times 280 divided by 4 is going to equal 210 girls. So this is another easier way to use. I see that this way is the easiest way to do this, because it is very obvious and everything is just in front of you, and you can easily figure out when you have just done something wrong. So example number 2. So we have here another example, so we can just make sure our understanding is correct. So the number of pupils in a primary school or an elementary school is 720 pupils. So here he doesn't give us the number of boys exactly or the number of girls exactly, right? He just gave us that the number of all pupils 720. So the boys and the girls are 720 pupils in this as a sum. So if the ratio between the number of boys and the number of girls is 5:4, so here we have to concentrate. We have to first take our ratio here and make it as a fraction form, so it's going to be easier for us to do. So the number of boys, here the boys is the antecedent because the term of the boys came first before the term of the girls. So the boys is the antecedent and it equals 5 parts, so 5 is going to be at the top, so 5 is our antecedent, and the girls is our consequent, so the 4 is our consequent here as a denominator. So we are going to have boys over girls is going to be 5 over 4. So now we have our fraction ratio as a fraction. So find the number of boys and the number of girls. So here he didn't give us the number of boys and one the girls like the other one. He just gave us the sum of the pupils and he wants the boys and the girls. So now we know that our fraction is 5 over 4. Okay, correct. So we know that boys equals 5 parts and girls will equal 4 parts. Amazing, we know this. This means that the sum of the parts is 5 plus 4, which is 9 parts. And we know that the sum of the pupils is 720. And 720, as you can see here, 720 belongs to the sum of the pupils, and 9 parts belongs to the sum of the pupils. So this means that 9 parts are equivalent to 720. So 9 parts is equivalent, which is equal to 720. So if we want to find just one part, we are going to divide by 9 because we have here 9 parts, so we're going to divide them by 9. So the value of one part is going to be 720 divided by 9, which is going to equal 80 pupils. Okay, so now we have 80 pupils. So we know that one part will equal 80. So now we have how many parts of the boys? 5 parts of the boys. So we're going to multiply 80 by 5, which is going to give us 400 boys. And we have here 4 parts of the girls. So we're going to multiply 4 by 80, which is going to give us 320 girls. So we have here now 320 girls and 400 boys. To make sure, we can just add both of them. We can add 400 of the boys and the 320 of the girls, and 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So they are 720, the exact number that he gave us in the beginning. So this means that our solution is correct. So this concept or this way of solving is called the sum of parts. So this concept is used and it's called the sum of parts. So we have here example number 3, and this is our last example for today. And we have 3 ways to solve this. We have the cross multiplication way, we have the sum of the concepts way, and we have the other way of multiplying the ratio by the number that he gives us. So this one here says the ratio between Kareem's weight. So we have here, we are here using and talking about weight. So the ratio between Kareem's weight and Iman's weight. So we are here comparing the ratio between Kareem and Iman. So the ratio between Kareem's weight and Iman's weight is 3 to 5. So this means, let's first try our fraction. This means that Kareem is the antecedent because he came first. So Kareem is going to be the antecedent. So we have 3 belongs to Kareem. So 3 is the antecedent. And Iman's weight, which is the consequent. So Iman is going to be the consequent. So 5 is going to be our consequent. So our ratio is going to be, as a fraction, 3 over 5. Amazing. So now we have to analyze this ratio. We have to analyze 3 over 5. What does 3 over 5 mean as a ratio? So this means that Kareem's weight will equal 3 parts and Iman's weight will equal 5 parts. Amazing. So the difference here, let us finish reading. Let us finish reading because he sometimes wants the sum, sometimes wants the difference. So if the difference between their weights is 20 kilograms and the difference is when we subtract them. The difference is 20 kilograms. Find the weight of each of them. So we want to find the weight of Kareem and we want to find the weight of Iman. So now here he doesn't want the sum. He didn't give us the sum of the weights is 20. He gave us that the difference of the weights is 20. So we're gonna do a subtraction operation to the weights parts. So the difference between the parts is gonna be 5 minus 3, which is 2. Because we subtract the bigger number from the smaller number, so 5 minus 3 is going to be 2 parts. So we know that the 2 parts here, the 2 parts belong to the difference between the ratios, and the 20 kilograms belongs to the difference between the ratios. So this means that 2 parts is equivalent are equivalent to 20 kilograms. So here the two parts are equivalent to 20 kilograms, and equivalent, as we have said, means equal. So this means that if we want to find just one part, what are we going to do? We're going to divide by 2, right? Because we have two parts. So the value of one part is going to be 20 divided by 2. It's going to be 10 kilograms. So Kareem's weight will equal, we have Kareem's weight is going to be 10 times 3, because Kareem, as you can see here, is 3 parts and Iman is 5 parts. So each part equals 10. So we're going to multiply each one of these 3 parts by 10. So 3 times 10 is 30 kilograms, and 5 of Iman's by 10 is 50 kilograms. So now we have knew that. Iman's weight is 50 kilograms and Kareem's weight is 30 kilograms. So another solution using the cross multiplication, which I really like because it's simple, where you can write Kareem to Iman to the difference, because here we're talking about the difference. So we're gonna add the difference to the 2. So Kareem, under Kareem we have 3 for Kareem, and we have 5 for Iman, and we have 2 for the difference. So we have a question mark under Kareem, we don't know his weight yet, and Iman, we don't know her weight yet, which is going to be a question mark too, and the difference, we know that the difference is 20. So to do this, we're going to cross multiply, which is we're going to multiply 3 by 20 here, and then we're going to divide it by 2 here. The same with the 5, we are going to here multiply 5 by 20, and then divide it by 2. So as you can see here, Kareem will be 3 times 20 over 2, which is going to be 30 kilograms, the same as here. And Iman's weight is going to be 50 kilograms, the same as here. So if you use either way, they are both right. You can use the cross multiplication way, you can use the sum of the concepts way, you can use the other multiplying way. All of them are going to give you the correct solution, but the most important part here is to know if you have a difference or if you have a sum, because if you have a sum, we're going to add. And if we have a difference, we're going to subtract. He doesn't give you multiplying and division here because they're just all about differences in weights, differences in ages, or just the sum of the ages or weights or whatever. He just wants us to figure out. So notes. So we have almost reached the end of this lesson, and I have here some notes for you guys to remember. So when do we subtract? Do we subtract when he just tells us the difference? No, sometimes he's gonna give us words. He's gonna just give us words that mean subtracting, but we sometimes say that they are addition. Like sometimes he can say increase. So he can say that the increase between Iman's and Kareem's weight is 20, or can say smaller than the small, or can say exceeds. So he can say like Iman exceeds Kareem with 20 kilograms, or shorter than, or more than, or longer than, or bigger than, or decreases. Like Kareem decreases Iman with maybe like 10 kilograms. Or less than. When we see any of these here, any of these words here, or any of these statements, all these means that we're gonna have a difference. This means that we're gonna have a subtraction operation, no addition here. When we see one of these words here, we don't add, we just subtract. So when we see any of these words, all these words here, you can pause the video and write them down in your notebook or something. And all these means that we're going to have a difference at the end. And the difference means we're going to have a subtracting operation. So we have reached the end of this lesson. So try this question. This question is to improve your understanding. So give it a shot and go do it. It's just one single question. You can just read it and do the same thing that we have done. If you aren't sure yet about how to do this, you can rewatch this video until you get the point. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.